Hey everybody, welcome back to 2A Tennessee. My name is Justin. Today what I want to talk to you guys about is a couple of recent developments in the Supreme Court as well as Congress. So one of the things that's been ongoing for the past year and a half, 2 years, is the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin case that has gone up to the Supreme Court. And we got a ruling on that case this week where the Supreme Court basically issued an opinion that the state of New York's requirement to demonstrate need to have a permit was unconstitutional. We all kind of knew that was the case, but I don't think a lot of us were expecting it to go that way. So in a way, this is potentially a good victory. The downside is there are several states that are already trying to figure out good workarounds for this. I saw an article published on Yahoo. It basically said that California is setting an example and offering guidance to other states on how to basically circumvent the Supreme Court's ruling on this. I want to give you the names of the justices who concurred with this decision and who dissented with this decision. So, we'll start with the names of the justices who concurred with it. Justice John Roberts, Justice Clarence Thomas, Justice Samuel Alito, Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Amy Barrett. All 6 of those justices agreed with this decision. Now the ones that dissented: Justice Stephen Breyer, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and Justice Elena Kagan. We're going to be watching the news to see what develops with that. The other main thing that I wanted to talk about today, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, formerly known as Senate Bill 2938. This was Amendment 5099. So what happened with this was the people who were negotiating this in the Senate basically realized they didn't have enough time left in their session to formulate a new bill. So they essentially hijacked a dead bill, put an amendment in it, and passed it through in a matter of 2 days. So the original bill's intent was a bill to designate the U.S. Courthouse and Federal Building at 111 North Adams Street in Tallahassee, Florida, to the Joseph Woodrow Hatchett U.S. Courthouse and Federal Building. This passed through the Senate and failed in the House, so it was sitting as a dead bill. What the Senate did was resurrect this, propose an amendment to it, and passed it through, which got 15 Republican votes. Then they passed it to the House, where it got 14 additional Republican votes. Now, it didn't really matter how many Republican votes it got in the House. It was going to pass anyway through the House because the House is predominantly Democrat. But I want to read you the names of the Republicans who have betrayed our Second Amendment here. In the Senate, we have Senator Roy Blunt from Missouri, Senator Richard Burr from North Carolina, Senator Shelley Capito from West Virginia, Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, Senator Susan Collins from Maine, Senator John Cornyn from Texas, Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Senator Rob Portman from Ohio, Senator Mitt Romney from Utah, Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina, Senator Patrick Toomey from Pennsylvania, and Senator Todd Young from Indiana. We also had 2 Republican senators who chose not to vote in this. Those 2 names are Senator Kevin Cramer from North Dakota and Senator Thomas Cotton from Arkansas. And I'm a little surprised that Tom Cotton didn't vote against this, because Tom Cotton has been one of the more outspoken people that I have noticed in defense of the Second Amendment. But he decided not to vote on this bill. So essentially what that means is that there are 15 Republicans in the Senate who voted to break the filibuster and advance anti-gun legislation into the House. Now let's talk about the House of Representatives. First, since we are a Tennessee channel, let me talk about the 2 Tennessee representatives who voted for this. Now, these are both Democrats. So, 2 Tennessee Democratic representatives voted yes on this bill. Steve Cohen out of Memphis voted yes, and Jim Cooper out of Nashville voted yes. Now let's talk about the Republicans in the House of Representatives who voted to advance this bill. There were 14 total. Steve Chabot of Ohio's 1st District, Liz Cheney of Wyoming, Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania 1st District, Tony Gonzalez of Texas 23rd District, Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio 16th District, Chris Jacobs of New York 27th District, David Joyce of Ohio's 14th District, John Katko of New York 24th District, Adam Kinzinger, Illinois 16th District, Peter Meyer, Michigan 3rd District, Tom Rice, South Carolina 7th District, Maria Salazar, Florida 27th District, Michael Turner, Ohio 10th District, Fred Upton, Michigan 6th District. We also had 3 Republicans who did not participate in this vote. Connie Conway of California 22nd District, Greg Pence of Indiana 6th District, and Lee Zeldin, New York 1st District. So those are the names of the Republicans in the House of Representatives who voted to advance this bill to the President's desk, which has been officially signed as of earlier this afternoon, I believe. I have to say I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Now, what effects will this passage of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act have? I'm not 100% sure. At face value, it looks like not much. So basically, in terms of gun control, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act did a couple of things. Number one, it is basically saying that they're going to try and tighten down the criteria on who has to have an FFL. This is one of those things where basically what they said and what they put in the bill is what's already on the books anyway, because it basically says that people who are buying and selling firearms to make profit are going to be required to have an FFL, which is already the case. The other additional thing is that they're establishing a grant. That grant money is going to be made available to the states to help train, to supposedly defend schools and communities better. Now, one of the big things is towards the end of that bill, they issued an exclusion that says the grant money will not be allowed to provide training in firearms for, the various people who are receiving the grant money. The interesting thing, though, is in that bill, it also says that that grant money will not be given to states who have red flag laws that violate the Constitution, basically. And as we all know, red flag laws all violate the Constitution. They violate the right to due process. They violate the right to face your accuser. They violate the right to protection against search and seizure. I'm sure there's several other things. Maybe one of these days I'll dig a little deeper into that. All the states that would hope to get money from this aren't going to be able to get money from this, and I'm sure there's going to be some lawsuits. It wouldn't surprise me if even the ACLU jumps in on this because of the next point that I'm going to bring up, and that is they are expanding the background checks for people who are under the age of 21. So anyone who's 18, 19, or 20, they're going to have expanded background checks to include juvenile records. There's going to be potential waiting periods. They've expanded it from 3 days to 10 days. So now the tick system has up to 10 days to make discoveries and not 3 days. That's going to be honestly the biggest thing, I think. There's a reason that things that we do when we're younger are put in sealed records and are not accessible in courts and that sort of thing. So honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to see the American Civil Liberties Union jump in on that. They kind of have a history of being more democratic than being on our side, but here we are talking about digging into people's childhood history. Anyway, guys, that's just kind of what's been going through my mind all day. I might be a day late releasing this, but I work a lot. I don't always have the time to get away and face the camera. If you have any more questions about what's going on with this, I would encourage you to go to the go read the bill yourself and find out exactly what's in it. Or you can ask me some questions down in the comments section, or pay attention to some of the other YouTubers who are covering this as well. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. So I do appreciate you guys watching. Those of you who have stuck around through the transition, thank you. There's probably going to be more of this kind of content going on, because I am very, very passionate about this sort of thing, and I do dig into it a lot more than most people do. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or ideas, leave those down in the comments box below. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. That should be showing up in the bottom right corner of your screen there. And leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. But until next time, my name is Justin, and this is 2A Tennessee.